Hey, Sabrina here. Now in this video, we are going to talk about finding the right builder. And this is quite important because it can cost you a lot of money if you get it wrong. Now, if you don't know, I've worked on a number of projects, from one single house that was turned into 3 flats. I've worked on HMOs where we've purchased a property as a 3-bedroom and then turned it into a 6-bedroom HMO with 1 en-suite or with 3 en-suites. I've done a number of those. I've also done general basic renovation. I call them cosmetic renovations, where no internal structure needs to be changed. And then I've worked on things where you need to move a wall or put a new window in to add a bedroom. So I've done a wide range of projects in development, property development, and it's generally working with investors. And I'm going to do a separate video about working with investors because I think there's some key learnings that you can take away from my experience that I think would help you in your journey too. If you don't already know, I've done lots of videos on property. A great video if you're new in property is how to get started in property. That is super. And another video that works quite well with this in terms of choosing a builder is doing a renovation tour. I actually don't remember the title of the video, but I'll put it here and you can check out that video there. So this video is all about choosing and selecting the right builder, taking them through a process where you're looking at their work, you're building a relationship, and you're going to choose them to work with you on your project to turn it around and add value to this property. You're trying to make money. So the finish is important, because if you're going to add value to this property and then have a surveyor come in to do an end valuation, whether it be to sell or to refinance, you want to get it right. The first thing is getting a recommendation, and this is very, very important. Okay, before getting a recommendation, your project. Let's talk about the project. Now, say it's, a 3-bedroom house that needs a normal renovation, or maybe it's even a development that you've never done before. You need to know exactly what you want from your project. That's first and foremost before you find any kind of builder. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, you want to know what it is that's going to make this property make you money. I don't want to assume you know all this stuff. I don't want to assume that I'm telling you to go and find a builder, yet you haven't even figured out what it is you want from a project. Because what mistake that people make is that they go and find a builder thinking the builder just going to know it all, do it all, and that's it. Builders only do what you've asked them to do. They don't do much more than that. So if you've asked them to do, come and put the wall in, come and put the carpet in, and come and put some wallpaper on the wall, they're going to come and put the wall in, put the carpet in, and put some wallpaper on the wall. I'm about to say newspaper. Some wallpaper on the wall. They do what you have told them to do. This is key, because now the onus is on you to get it right. It's not on the builder, it's on you, and it's your responsibility, and that's first and foremost. So you need to know what it is you want done from that house. So we're going to assume that it's a normal, I always say 3 bedrooms. I don't know, maybe I like 3 bedrooms. I don't know. So, today we're going to make it a 4-bedroom. Today, right? 4-bedroom house, and you want a complete turnaround. You want new floors, new walls, new electrics, new central heating system, everything, right? Now, you need to know this. So what you're going to do is write that all down. You're going to walk through that house and look at every single nook and cranny down to the skirting board. You want to know, do you want a specific type of light pendant, or do you want just the normal white ones? You want to know down to the kitchen, the specifications, what type you want, everything. Now, when it comes to finding the right builder, you are going to look for recommendations. You need someone who's recommended. That's very first and foremost. And you want at least 3 recommended builders, 3 different builders, because you always want to get 3 quotes. So yes, this is a video for finding one builder, but when you're approaching a renovation, you need 3 quotes, and that's key. Now, the recommendations, you don't just want to find anyone on social media or anyone in your property network. It needs to be someone who has a bit of an invested interest in your success, because you can say, hey, Sabrina, do you have a recommendation? I can go and give you the first builder who I went to go and get a quote from. He didn't go anywhere, but because he treated me so well, I recommend him. Whereas you want to work with someone who has actually worked with this person. They've got a finished product and they can show you the results. Now, if you're new to an area and you have no idea where to start, because that's not always possible, I admit that when I first came to live in South Wales, I didn't really, and I hadn't started networking at that time. I'd already found a house quite quickly after moving here, and I had to find builders, and I was like, oh my gosh, where am I going to find these builders? So I turned to Checkatrade, and on Checkatrade they do have recommendations. You can see their reviews. They even got stars, they've got ratings, something out of 10, and that for me was really useful, because then I could see that they've got, you know, track record. They have a track record. Their customers are leaving great reviews, and to me that was coming across more like a recommendation, although it's not a recommendation, but I could see here that they've done well. So that's another way of going about that. If you can't get a recommendation, go on Track or Trade, and that's quite a good website to use. Once you've selected this builder and you've got your recommendation and you've given them a call, one thing you want to do is chat with them over the phone. Have a chat with them, have a conversation, you know, see what they do, you know, get down in detail exactly what trades they do, how do they manage their business in terms of, are they hands-on, or do they have people who kind of run around and do the stuff for them. My main builder in London, whilst he was hands-on, he generally had a lot of people working for him underneath him. So he used to oversee a lot of stuff, but at the same time, he would get his hands dirty. As well as that, you want to make sure they're friendly, they're approachable, they answer questions, they don't kind of dance around questions and kind of don't even end up answering the question. And you kind of want to understand how they approach the renovation itself. So you want to understand how they do their payment structure. Do they do 5% upfront? Do they do 30% upfront? You know, that would all depend, of course, on the works that's happening. So if you're managing a renovation and you're going to have lots of different tradesmen coming at the same time, you would want to structure your business, structure the payments where you're paying them in schedules. To be honest, you always want to pay in schedules. I've never seen anything where you pay, number one, you never pay all up front. You don't even pay 50% up front. You want to be paying like 10 to 15% or maybe even 30%, but never anything more than 30%. And a lot of times it's around 30% because they want to get the project going, and materials do cost a lot of money. And if they have 5 or 6 projects going on at the same time, it's a lot of material cost for them to have and be in a lot of debt to your customers before you even get payment. So I can understand wanting 30% upfront, and that would be reasonable for me, but I would not go beyond that until at least 30% of work is then done, or maybe 20% of the work is then done. But all of that would be on your schedule of works. Paperwork. Now, if you're in business, you all have to be accredited, registered, insured, and all that other stuff. So you do want to check that they do have their insurances, because it can fall back on your insurance as well if you haven't worked with a builder who's got the right insurances in place. You do want to make sure you're working with builders who are accredited. I mean, you want to at least know they've got some kind of certificate in the trade. It's very rarely people go and ask for certificates. Hey, can I see your certificate? Because some of them are 20 years old, 30 years old. There are a lot of people who should be on governing bodies, so like plumbers, they got to be, well, actually not necessarily, only if you're a gas safe plumber, then only certain plumbers can work in certain areas within plumbing. So if they're doing your plumbing, you do want to make sure that they at least are gas safe registered. And there's another one for electric as well, but I don't remember the name of that. I think it's NIECIE, something like that. It's very long, so it's about 4 letters. And then, yes, you want to make sure they have insurance to do the work that they're doing on your property. One thing you also want to see is, do they have experience? Do these people have experience in the trade that you are employing them to do? And that's fundamental. I mean, to be honest, that's a no-brainer. I don't really need to spend much time on that. You want to make sure they have experience. And I guess one way of finding that out is, do they have raging fans? And if they do, where are they? Because you want to go and talk with these people and see what they have to say about the builder. A lot of them will only, give you clients that they've been successful with. You won't get to know the true picture per se. However, it's worthwhile still calling up these raging fans, or these raving fans? I've been saying raging. They can be raging if they want to. Raving fans, having a conversation with them, see what they say about the builder, and find out when they done the work, what work did they do, how long did it take, were they messy, were they clean, did they tidy up after themselves, did they remove all the rubbish away, did they work during the summer, did they work during the winter? What you want to look at when you're working with a builder is their characteristics. How will you communicate with them? How do they communicate with you? So the way to combat that when you are speaking with a builder is by asking questions around things that they may have done that would give you an indication as to what kind of character they have. So I would say is, did they show up on time, or did they come late? And if they came late, what did they do when they came late? And then she'll say, oh, they just came in and got on with it. Okay, so, to me, they kind of realized they were late and da-da-da-da-da. She'd say, oh, God, they took forever to get started again. But, they got there in the end. To me, I'll now be thinking, well, What does that mean? Now me, that's red flags. I'm like, why did it take a while to set in? What was going on? So I said, well, was it raining? Or, you know, these are the kind of questions you're questioning, like how you'd question a child. You can't be scared. You gotta ask questions, but in a nice way, but ask questions. So I would want to know, you know, why, oh, look, they took long to settle in. Oh, what happened? They'd be like, you know, what happened? Leave it all open-ended. Oh, you know, they just forgot their tools in the car, so they had to go back in and go back. To me, I'm thinking, well, that don't sound organized. That don't sound organized to me. What do you mean you forgot your tools in the car? Why are you forgetting your tools in the car? Hold on, let me get my coffee. What do you mean they forgot their tools in the car? It's not a huge thing, but it's things to ponder on. I mean, if you tell me stuff like that, I'd want to know why. And if to me no answer is going to be really good enough, then there's a lot about character there. Now, the final point is you must see their work in person. This is fundamental. And I'm not talking about them sending through a whole bunch of pictures that they've got from somewhere else. I'm talking about actually going to see their work, hooking up with them on a work schedule when they're working, mid-flow of a renovation of that they're working on themselves. Now, when you go there, you want to look at a few different things. I like to go in and look around and be like, oh, did you do that? No. Okay. Oh, did you do that? Yeah, we just put that wall up. Oh, okay, well, let me see. And then you want to go and see what it looks like. But whilst you're there, you're also looking at the condition of the property. Have they kept it nice? Are they cleaning up after themselves as they work? Are they neat builders? Because you can tell, you know, you can tell quite quickly whether someone's necessarily good or not by how clean they keep their building site, because tools can be lost, materials can be lost, screws can be lost, things can be lost. If they're not respecting their own tools and your materials that they're using to do the renovation, it's likely that more money would be spent trying to rectify these things, and the cost has got to come from somewhere, and guess who it's going to come from? They're going to try and put it on your ass. They're going to be like, oh, the wall is doing something and we now need to fix it, but it's going to cost you because this is what you wanted, you know? Or the handle, right? It doesn't fix this door and the door don't fix in the frame and all this other stuff. And you're like, Rob, I never ordered the doors. You ordered the doors. So this is stuff where you got to push that cost right back onto their ass and be like, listen, this is your stuff. You fix it out. The moral of that story, I'm making it sound like it's a battlefield, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like it can be. It can be a battlefield sometimes, but it doesn't always have to be, because I've worked with builders where it wasn't. So, like I said, when you're on site, you're looking at the condition of the site. Is it clean? Are they keeping it well maintained? You're looking at how they're storing their materials. Is it nice and neatly stacked in one corner, or is it all over the place? You're looking at the workman himself. Then I want to know is, you know, how much did they charge for this bathroom? Okay, and who sourced the materials? Okay, and then you're looking at the wall. I mean, is it straight? Is it plastered nice? Are they protecting? When you're installing a bathroom sometimes, especially a shower, those stand-up showers that go straight onto the floor, there's a little protective material that you can put underneath that. Are they using a protective material? Are they just sticking that bathroom right onto the concrete? Are they protecting the materials of the house, the structure of the house? Are they protecting that, or are they just kind of just putting things on? Now, there's some things you won't necessarily know, but this is why it's good to watch some videos too. If you're new to building, watch videos. Go on YouTube, watch videos how to do this, how to do that, and you'll learn a lot about property. So that is it. I've given you all the tips that you can utilize to choose your builder and choose your builder the right way. If you are looking for a mentor or someone to guide you along in your journey, give me a DM, reach out, send me a message, and then we can discuss how I can help you. As well as that, if you've got questions that you just want to ask me, ask away. And if you're someone who has some cash sitting in the bank, whether you've just sold your house, you just got a divorce, you got a great job and you're making all this money and want to keep that aside, then investing in property is a very safe and secure way of holding on to your funds for the long term. Now, if you don't want to take the risk of investing in property yourself, perfect. I'm the girl you're looking for. My goal is to consistently provide homes, particularly for people who are on the benefit system. They want a nice home to live in. That doesn't mean that they should get the end of the barrel just because of that reason, and also for single mothers. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you at the top. Take care.